Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Earl Hall Show. Today, we have an honored guest. We're welcoming a powerhouse in mental health advocacy. We have Michelle McKinney, a proud Army veteran. I'm not going to hold that against her. I'm an Air Force vet. Best-selling author and founder of Ugly Essentials. Michelle is on a mission to redefine self-acceptance through luxury yet affordable products. She's inspiring meaningful conversations around mental wellness and empowering others to embrace vulnerability as strength. Let's dive into her journey and impact she's making. Michelle, welcome to the Earl Hall Show.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon. I hope all is well with you and your family. And thank you for having me and giving me this opportunity.
Well, you're definitely more than welcome. The honor is definitely mine. I mean, mental health and the products, the beauty products that you're coming out with, the Ugly Essentials.
Yes.
Sounds like it was made specifically for me.
You're right. If you gotta love you gotta love yourself. So yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not getting any younger. We got to do something here with that. But Michelle, tell me about the combination of these two things because mental health and beauty products, how did you combine these things that made it make sense to not just you, but to the public as well?
In a nutshell, I can thank cancer for that.
Okay.
Because when I initially got diagnosed, I was misdiagnosed. But that's another story. Everything else that I was using for my hair, for my skin, all of that did not want to work when I started going through treatment. So I remembered that. And then I medically retired. And then when I came out, I went into mental health. So when it come to thinking about my journey, that was my why to develop products that would heal us from the inside. Not only that, but it will also, if you're unique, you have flaws. Those are flaws. That makes you different. Different is okay. You had me saying you got to love yourself is before you can love anybody else, you have to love yourself. And our products, we want that. I wanted to put that into our products that no matter how diverse you are, you can be Caucasian, you can be Hispanic, but we all have the same issues, skin problems. But sometimes something that's going on in our journey might cause other things not to work. And I had talked to God for a lot of times about that too, but that was what I really want to do. Thus, the inception of Ugly Essentials.
With that being said, I mean, I have a family member that's going through chemo right now. How does that affect or has that affected you and have you seen how chemo could affect others, with different skin things going on?
Yeah, so for mine, I never I had a combination skin. But then when I got to my third month I did 189 rounds of radiation. So that's doing it Monday through Friday. So when I got to my third month, my skin, although my face wasn't being zapped, but all of those ailments, that things that come out of there is side effects that my skin just started peeling.
Oh my.
Literally. So it's almost like I literally was having a sunburnt face and peeled every day.
Mm.
It got really, really, really dry. And of course, top on that chemo, then I lost my eyebrows, my eyelashes, and that did something totally different to my hair and changed my whole entire hair pattern, curl texture, to include now, just like your beard, that's how my hair looks.
Okay.
I say it was God giving me wisdom earlier than He wanted me probably to have,
Okay. Well, I'll
but it
start
was a
using
lesson.
that term. God is just giving me wisdom. I can be a vain person, but I decided, like, you know what? Whatever the color is in my beard, and I just started growing this beard 2 months ago.
It
You know,
looks good.
well, thank you. And so I was like, whatever it is what it is. I'm not going to dye it. That's a whole nother issue and work. But when you're talking about women in particular, that can be and have a right to be more vain. about
Yes.
the things that are going on, because typically, I mean, we look at women and we like pretty and beautiful and all of that and whatever, right, wrong, or indifferent. When you're going through something like that, whether it's because of an illness or whatever,
Hmm.
what have you seen the most predominant mental health issues be around the thing, which is why you created Ugly Essentials?
Depression,
Okay.
anxiety. A lot of times we live in a society, we learn a lot of learned behaviors. So some of those are passed amongst to us from our family. And then we have our own thought process. And then when you're going through something that you're not sure and you have fear, also too, if you have a relationship with whoever your higher being is, but we feel physically, we know we're seeing the changes, but what people don't really see is the changes in your mind. So we
Yes.
have to, one, give ourselves grace and go through it because everything is a life lesson if we allow our mind to think that. We tell our mind what we want it to say, not let our mind run with our mouth and everything else. And a lot of times that happens because whether learned behavior again or things that we have DNA in from that causes you might need a little bit more things to make you feel good. Because
Okay.
when you feel good, you do good. That's what I learned.
It's one of those things about depression, and I suffer from depression. It's kind of hereditary with that. And when you're going through something like this, it's a physical thing that, and I'm just guessing here, but it's a physical thing on the outside. And so it's internalized, and then that depression comes out, and then you isolate yourself
Yes.
and you hide. And then that voice that has already made you hide continues to keep you hidden with that. Do you talk to a lot of different women about these types of topics, while
Yes.
you're out there online?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Because I was just saying this morning to a young lady that the mind is so powerful, it can make a woman feel and think that she's pregnant and she's not pregnant. Chemical pregnancy. So, with that being said, the first time that we identify and be self-aware about ourselves and really be vulnerable and transparent, that's the first step to accept, right? And then the next one for that is to let yourself feel that, because a lot of times we try to, it's out of fear, but there's tools, there's coping mechanisms. You can talk to somebody, positive affirmations,
Yes.
meditation, mindfulness activities. All those are mindfulness activities. I have a mantra I do every day, and now I think it's all over on TikTok now. Everything is working out for me. Everything is working out for me. It's truly that. So again, our mind is a sponge too. So if we have to be intentional, we have to try our best to stay in the present moment
Hmm.
and not suffer from cognitive dissonance,
Hmm.
which we're always, and that's easy to do. It's
Yeah.
so easy,
Yeah.
and sometimes you subconsciously are doing it and don't realize you're doing it. So what I always tell people to do is why. So if you're feeling angry about something, why is that? Then it comes to what, and this is what I do to myself every day. Probably, especially when you have to deal with conflict or you're dealing with something that you
Mm.
might be nervous about, that you're not in control of the outcome. Um, and the more you do it, repetitious and consistently, it forms into a habit.
Yeah. Definitely, it does. What we're gonna take a short break right here, and we're gonna be back with Michelle McKinney, the creator and founder of Ugly Essentials. We've heard the why. Oh, now when we come back, we're gonna talk about the what it is. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this. Ready to transform your life? Transformation, How Mama's Wisdom Unlocks the Secrets to Success, is your guide to resilience, purpose, and creating a life you love. Mama said, it's your little red wagon. You can pull it or push it. And if you've got one man, you can get another. Packed with timeless wisdom, practical strategies, and heartfelt stories, this book will help you tackle challenges and embrace your next breakthrough. Grab your copy on Amazon today. How Mama's Wisdom Unlocks the Secrets to Success.
Entrepreneurs, authors, and business owners, are you ready to get noticed? Get a 20-minute interview feature on the Earl Hall Show. A custom 30-second promo video to market your business. Plus, 6 commercial spots in 6 upcoming episodes. All for just $97. Limited spots available. Don't miss out. Let's put your brand in front of the right audience. Click the link now and let's make it happen.
Struggling with dull, tired skin? It's time to unlock your skin's true potential with Ugly Essentials Fetish Ultimate Facial Cleanser. This exfoliating powerhouse gently buffs away dead skin cells, revealing a smoother, brighter complexion while deeply cleansing and detoxifying. Say goodbye to blemishes and hello to a radiant glow. Packed with skin-loving ingredients, your skin will feel refreshed, clear, and vibrant. Don't wait. Elevate your beauty routine today. Click the link and get your Fetish Ultimate Facial Cleanser now at uglyessentialsonline.com. Okay, and welcome back. Once again, we're with Michelle McKinney. She is the founder of Ugly Essentials. We've been having a great conversation. And what I want to get into now, Miss McKinney, is what is Ugly Essentials? And the first question I even have about this, where'd the name come from?
So we birthed this baby, now I'm a young woman now, in 2020, COVID baby.
Okay.
So I was with a client, and when I start with my new clients, we always do vision boards. So one that does is it makes sure that it helps with the connection between me and the client, and then 2, they get to know a little bit about Michelle. They get to know about I get to know about them, and then they really see it. It really breaks that bond, that barrier of I don't want to talk to her. She might be here to take me out of my house from my mom and dad.
Okay.
So we were doing vision boards, and I always say to my clients when I pick them up or when we have a session that you gotta love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you don't know how to love anybody else. So every day I ask her how her day is. I said that. So when we were doing our boards and we were going over, and I saw that she had wrote ugly. And I had wrote on mine, you got to love yourself. So I said, what is this? What is this here? And she said, well, I just thought I put ugly down for short because you're always telling me, Miss McKinney, you got to love yourself before anybody else. So that's how we had the name.
Wow. It's, and I think it fits, and I think it resonates with the people that see it, because unfortunately that's probably how they see themselves, right? But that essentials part is like, I can break away from
Hmm.
that other side of
That's
the
right.
name and the title, and I know people just saw a commercial for one of your products, so tell us about that product that seems to be blowing up.
Okay, so that is our ultimate facial cleanser. It's salicylic acid in it. So it's also a cleanser to clean your face, but you can also use it as an exfoliant. So sometimes in skincare, we have a lot of products, right? Us women are usually known to have 15, 13 different types of stuff.
I don't know what all that stuff is on the counter in our bathroom. It's like, how do you all these hair products, all these skincare products, all these the things for your nails? Yeah, so I
So
see it.
yes, and see, so again, with me from being in the military, and then my mother is West Indian. So we kept a clean, organized home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Organization.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we wanted to make sure we had products that were multifunctional. So thus the clutter. So some people will find specifically an exfoliant for them to use on their face, and then they have a cleanser to wash their face. We just wanted to do it in both. So where it turns into an exfoliant is where maybe if you're washing your face, please not anyone wash their face with washcloths anymore. We don't use washcloths because it carries bacteria. So we use facial towels. It would be even better to use a paper towel than a washcloth on your face.
I'd never heard that until this very conversation,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I use a washcloth. So now, what about those things, those loofahs, or like?
Okay. You can use the loofahs if they're
Mhm.
silicone. right? If they're silicone
Yeah, that's what
based,
I have.
you can use it. You can use a silicone base to wash your face or to even wash your body with, because they come in mitts and all that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then too, sometimes the mitts, if it's cloth, even though it might be an exfoliant, for it to exfoliate your skin, it can still carry bacteria. So I always recommend to use facial towels. You can get them on Amazon, TikTok. They come in charcoal now for extra deeper
Well, you
cleansing.
need to start a line. You need to start a line of these
It's,
things, ma'am.
I am thinking about that because
The essentials. The essentials,
yes,
you know.
I use them. I use them. So yeah, that right there, you'd be surprised. Even though we wash them, we still don't get all the bacteria.
And those little puff balls that I use, that's what I usually put my body lotion or whatever and do that. I love those. I don't use washcloths that much except for when I wash my face.
That's it. So, sir, stop using that washcloth.
No
Okay.
more. No
Okay.
more.
Okay. So, and it has like a little rosary scent to make you feel refreshed. You know, maybe if you're just waking up first thing in the morning, washing your face, and there's not a light scent. And then I also want to do a light scent because I had lost my sense of smell.
Okay.
So when I started coming back, it was the light scents that didn't make me nauseous.
Okay. And
And
that
it's
just
a
shows the targeting and how important that is and how focused you are on who you're serving with that. You know, yeah, because I've seen this before. With the products that you're producing, is this what you would maybe deem as, because of your own issues that you've gone through, would you consider this to be like your life's work, or
yes,
yeah,
my purpose.
your purpose? That's so important. It's what's funny to me is so many times, you've heard the term hurt
Pur-
people, right? And it's so funny to me, the entrepreneurs, so many that I've talked to over the years that have gone through struggles and trauma and tragedy, they use those things to help, not to hurt.
Right.
How did this come about with you, where you didn't just go down in sackcloth and ashes over this, but you use it as a fight to better not only yourself, but to help others as well?
I think I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I grow up. When I retire from the army. So I feel like this was my way of giving back. Just like I was a senior leader. Well, I went from E1 to O4.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I've seen both sides. Okay.
Yes.
So I
Enlisted and
transitioned.
officer, for y'all
That's
that don't
right. Both
understand.
sides.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like I was never going to be in a uniform ever again. But I wasn't sure back then, how did that look like for me to continue to serve like I did in the military, not only for my country, but for my soldiers, be the example, be intentional, all of those principles that we learn in the armed forces, and still be able to do that. And now I can look really like a girly girl,
Okay.
get my
Yeah.
nails done, my nose pierced. Yeah.
It's funny. We have a 19-year-old daughter that just went into the army. She's in school right now for computer something or another. And you talking about
Congratulations.
girly girl. You talking about girly girl.
Hmm.
Shocked that she even decided to do this thing, but to see her now coming through basic and just being so proud, and seeing her proud now, it does something,
Yes.
to us as parents, to see
Yes.
that. But I know exactly what you're talking about with the whole girl to girl thing and wearing the nails. She struggled trying to figure out if she wanted to even go in the military
Yeah.
because they wouldn't let her wear lashes. That's how much of a girly girl
Yes.
she is. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get it.
It just depends on where she's going to be at next. I mean, realistically, they've really
Yeah.
changed the grooming standards, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it's really like now I feel I'm where I'm supposed to be at. I'm doing, and I'm my true authentic self.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that goes back to that inner child. Like
Hmm.
we gotta, we all have an inner child. So we all have to sit with things that happened in the past because it's going to affect our future, our present and our future. Until we figure that out, it's going to show up somewhere, somewhere. Oh, the
Yeah.
sooner that we do that, the sooner that we love on ourselves more than anybody else. And it should be a comparison. I think a lot of times we feel like we compare, like, say, for example, when we're in a marriage, "Oh, I have to
Mhm.
love my spouse more than I love me." No, that's not what God said. That's not what your higher being said. Not at all. So if you can't love yourself enough, like you love me
Yeah.
unconditionally, then you're not going to be able to have the tools to love someone else.
And that right there was a whole conversation in itself behind that. But I mean, I definitely appreciate and respect what it is that you're doing. And thank you for your service, by the way, as well.
Thank you.
And, how can people connect with you or stay in contact with you and find out more about you and Ugly Essentials?
So our Instagram is Ugly Essentials Online. Our website is www.uglyessentialsonline.com. And then our Facebook business page is Ugly Essentials LL.
Okay. Definitely check those out. Michelle, thank you so much for being a featured guest here on the Earl Hall Show today. You're doing some amazing things, obviously, and for a very good reason. So we thank you for that. And also for the watching audience, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode of the Earl Hall Show. Take care.
Thank you.